Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. You are watching Sides K Creations, and on my channel I'm sharing my sewing journey with you all. So since the last time we came together, I started some batch cutting. I wanted to have a lot more of my pattern pieces cut, but I only was able to get 2 patterns cut so far. So I am going to share with you what I've done, and then I am going to try to finish out, or maybe not completely finish out, but do some more batch cutting this evening. Okay, the first pattern that I was able to get batch cutting on was the jumpsuit, and I have some notes here. So I'm working on McCall's 8245. It is in fact a jumpsuit robe and romper, but I'm only doing the jumpsuit, and that's this pattern here. So I have my pattern pieces cut out, ready to go. Interesting part with this pattern is it calls for elastic, and I honestly don't know how that will work. So I'm going to use the elastic. Give me 1 second, guys. My dog is like panting like she has been in a fight. Let me go check out what's going on with her. All right, so this pattern was pretty straightforward. It only has 2 pattern pieces, and then it has an elastic guide. So when here it is. When I was looking at the pattern piece, not the pattern, but the jumpsuit itself, I didn't realize I needed to have elastic for it, but it looks like the elastic goes across the V-neck. So I'm not sure that I actually will use the elastic. I'll see. I know there are some that have sewn this and they opted not to use the elastic, so we'll see when I start working on this. But I do have the elastic here. I think it was a quarter inch elastic, a 1/4 inch wide elastic, and I needed to have 1 3/8 yards. So I got that here. That's ready to go. Again, I don't know if I'll use it, but I do have it. The V-neck on it, I'm not sure if it'll come down too low on me, but if it does, I'll have to watch a video to make sure that I bring the V-neck up a little bit, just in case it's too low. And I do know, based off me just holding the pattern up to my body, that I will likely need to take a little bit of length off, because it was a little bit long, if I can remember. But yeah, so that pattern is already cut out and ready to go. Next pattern was the New Look pattern, 6804, and I'm only doing the skirt. Remember, I'm doing view here, which is the view C. So I have that all cut out. I don't remember this really being anything tricky. I'm trying to remember when I cut it. Oh yes, there was a tricky part when I looked at the instructions, where it's telling me that I need to put elastic in the yoke. So I thought that this skirt was just a simple flat yoke all the way around, but it actually requires me to insert elastic in the yoke, and I think the elastic might even go in the back of the yoke. So that might be something I'll need to take my time and do. But I'm doing view C here, and that's pretty straightforward in terms of the design of the skirt. But that yoke and the elastic and the yoke might be a little bit more tricky for me, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try, see how it goes. And I started, but haven't, well, the pieces are laid out. Well, the instructions are laid out, and the pattern pieces are somewhat laid out. But I did start to look at this New Look pattern 6620. It is a shirt. And if you remember, I said I was going to be doing view B, which looked to be pretty straightforward. However, when I opened up the pattern instructions, I noticed that the back is actually a V in the back. Let me go and show you guys. So if you take a look here, I'm doing view B. and VB, the back has a V neck. So this is the front of it and this is the back. I thought the front and the back were just a simple scoop neck, but the back is in fact a V. Again, I don't know if the V will be too low for me. I don't like it when there's a V neck and then my bra strap shows. So I'm hoping that when I do this, I cut it out and hold it up. You know, I might even do a mock-up before I actually cut into my fabric. But I'm hoping that the neck, the V in the back is not too low for me. So that's one thing I am constantly reminded with patterns is, even though, you know, you might look at it and it might look simple and it might look straightforward, it's not until you actually read the instructions and look at all the line drawings like really well, you really start to see exactly the look that you'll get and what the making of a garment entails. So, but I'm not gonna let that stop me, because I know if I look at this and think it's too much off the top, I'll never begin to really get more advanced in sewing my garments. So I am gonna go ahead and still give this a try. I am going to now, for the next couple of minutes or so, I might take an hour and work on cutting out my patterns for this shirt, and also see how much I can get done with this top here, which I think I had on my list of things to sew, and the skirts and pants. I might do this one next after I do the other shirt, but this is my plan for the evening. All right, so I cut out New Look 6620. It was a really big pattern piece for pattern piece number 2. But yeah, I actually, as I started cutting pattern piece number 4, I'm not sure if I showed it in the clip or not, but I started cutting on the wrong line for the, I cut a large, and I quickly noticed that I was cutting on a cut line for the extra large. So I was able to catch that really early and go ahead and tape it up a little bit. But I did cut out a large for this pattern. So now what I did not do was take notes on like the pattern name and the size I cut and how many pattern pieces. This is always helpful for when I decide to do like a pattern review, or if I want to go back later and sew up this item again, I can remember, you know, like some of my notes on it. If I made any modifications, the fabric I used. The only thing I don't capture are like pictures of the actual garment itself. Don't know that I really need to have that, but I think if I just have some really good and detailed notes, then I'll be in a good space to go back and redo the pattern if I decide to do that later. So I've got 3 patterns cut out right now. I did not set my timer either. I came in and I was supposed to set my timer for an hour, and I forgot to do that. So at this point, I'm just probably gonna let it go. I feel good. I'm gonna see how I feel after I get these notes taken. And then we'll see about me starting on the 4th cut, which would be the top for this McCall's level 1 learn to sew pattern. I think I was gonna do view E here. So yeah, this is probably only 2 pattern pieces, honestly. I can't imagine this being too complex. So I will probably go ahead and get this one cut out too this evening. Okay, so the only things I captured as I was working through my notes was just the pattern overview and a little bit about my experience, but not too much so far, because I really won't know about my experience until I go and actually start constructing the garment. But the things I like to capture in terms of the pattern overview is the name of the pattern and the release date. That way, if I want to go back and do some research on it online, I think having the date it was released might be helpful. The type of garment it is for this particular pattern here, it is just a knit top, and I have skirt on here, but it's definitely not a skirt. It's just a knit top. So sometimes on the pattern it'll tell you exactly like what it is, but just says on here Mrs. 5 sizes in 1. So it's just tops. So I capture that. I capture how many pattern pieces are in the envelope, because again, if I want to go back and do a quick search in my notes here for a for a top pattern, I would like to know up front, you know, how many pattern pieces it was before I go and try to hunt it down in my pattern stash. The type of fabrics. So this one here is actually very versatile. So you can use woven fabrics and knit fabrics. So You can use chambray, cotton lawn, cotton types, ITY jerseys, lightweight jersey, and linen types. So this is a very versatile and diverse pattern that gives you well, the pattern is not diverse, but the fabric choices for the pattern are very diverse. It only requires thread and bias tape, which will likely be around the neckline here. I'm trying to think where else might it be. And it might also be around the arm band maybe, but I could definitely see how the instructions may require some bias tape around the neckline. And again, it comes with 3 pattern pieces, the sizes, right? So all sizes are in this envelope from extra small to extra large. And then I like to capture the fabric width. And actually for this pattern, depending on the view and the size that you are, will really tell you what width of fabric you need, whether you need 45-inch or 60-inch. And I'm not sure, I don't even know right now which fabric I'm using for this, but I do know that I have in my stash knit that will work for this top here. And I would pair this top with the skirt. I think I showed you guys, oh, the new look, I don't know where it is now, but that new look pattern I showed you earlier, the skirt, I was going to do view B in the top to pair that. So that's ready to go. So what I want to do now, I do feel like I can go ahead and cut, let me go and get it. All right. So I do feel like I want to go ahead and just cut this pattern here, this McCall's pattern. It should probably only be 2 pattern pieces. I would not even be surprised if it was only 1 cut on the fold twice, because let me see. Right. Well, I don't know. It'll be interesting. So I'm doing view E, this view here. And on the back side, you can see the pattern lines for view E. Or not the pattern lines, the pattern lines, the garment lines, the line drawings, I'm sorry. You can see that here on view E. They look identical. The back pattern piece might look a little bit more raised than the front pattern piece, but at a minimum, I could see this being 2 pattern pieces, you know, max maybe 2. So I might go ahead and get this one started as well. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and pack up my new look pattern, put it inside the plastic bags that I purchased from Amazon some time ago, and get these stored away. So I think I'm going to end it here. I was looking at my patterns, which I know I'm going to sew. That's without a shadow of a doubt. I'm definitely going to sew these up. But I definitely want to do view E, as I've already stated. But when I went back to this pattern here, I have on here pants and a skirt. And I think I wanted to do these pants and this skirt. But I'm not sure about my fabric choice. If I told you all in the last video the fabric choice I was thinking, I don't know if I told you all I was thinking about doing this in my red Ponte knit. This is what happens when you have choices. You kind of get stuck in, you know, trying to decide because you have choices, and I am grateful and I thank God for choices, but this is where I get caught up in my head. But I don't know now which fabric I want to use. So I have the tan or the cream with the green leaves on it. I have the black with the hearts on it, with the pink hearts. And I have a fabric that I purchased from Joann's some time ago. I'm going to show it to you. This fabric here, and it is in a knit. Now, I don't have enough to do a full outfit. I think I might only have about maybe a yard and a half. Maybe, yeah, about a yard and a half maybe of this fabric. So it's not enough to do a full outfit. So I'm just kind of not sure. I want to use this too on something. I just don't know what. Remember, I still want to do this top here. So I could do this in the top. I don't know if I would like that. I think the scaling of the figures on here might be too big for this top, and that might just look a little busy. So I don't know. Maybe I don't have a pattern right now that will allow me to use this fabric, but I did take it out of my stash. So I'm thinking I might just go ahead and stick with the red Ponte. I think I have more than enough of that, and do this top here and the skirt and pants. I think I might just do that. But I'm going to sleep on it tonight. I'm going to go ahead and get my fabric in the wash, and the next time we come together, I should be either cutting fabric or already cut fabric ready to construct. So that is it for this video. I hope that you oh wait, the magnifying glass. I had to pull out the magnifying glass to see the measurements on these patterns. Even though I wear glasses, the measurements, or the the measurements for the amount of fabric was so small on the pattern envelope. I had to pull out my magnifying glass to see it. So if you are like me and I start to get a little challenging over time, invest in a magnifying glass, because it will definitely help you out with just those quick reads you need to do on your patterns. So yes, a little tip for you all, but yes. So now I'm done. Thank you for watching. Until we come together again, take care and God bless.